3 years ago from today, Book 1, Chapter 2 released on February. 2 months later in April, we got Chapter 3. In July, 3 months later, we got The Witch Trials. Then 1 month later, Book 1, Chapter 4. Then arrived Book 2. Book 2, which was the next chapter to come out, came out March 27th, 2022. 7 months later. Then Book 2, Chapter 2, which came out May 19th, 2023, which is over a year. Then the latest chapter was 8 months. So what was the big change that made updates take so long to come out? And why could this next chapter come out all the way in 2025? So I do have the answer, and it all starts with Book 2. Book 2 was a big change for the Mimic in terms of gameplay. Gameplay-wise, there's a lot of changes, such as adding chase scenes in between each part, and them being twice as long as normal chapters in Book 1. The Mimic developers started shifting their focus away a little more from the horror element and more towards suspense. And while I do think suspense is needed for the Mimic, it shouldn't be the main focus. The Mimic in Book 2 really started to expand in terms of map size as well, and became really ambitious. The change from shorter content could be the motivation because it is a lot of work and sometimes you get the same reward. But why did they make this change? Well, the Mimic was one of the first hyper-realistic horror games on Roblox, and by far one of the most detailed, and still to this day is what most people base their games off because of how successful it was. And the Mimic devs know this, and this puts a lot of expectations on themselves, and this happens with every game company. You find out what made you successful and try to do as many times as possible, and what the Mimic wants to do right is being the best and biggest horror game on Roblox. So they make chapters longer and add better details, which make development times longer. Each chapter in Book 2 has been longer than the last chapter with extra parts, and they probably think if they do move away from that, they might get some backlash for being, in quotations, a mid-chapter. But that's only way to get out of this year development times. And of course, that's with shorter chapters, because they are easier to get going, and in the long term, it will probably be more content because you'll have even more chapters to choose from. And another thing to take into consideration is the Mimic only has 4 books planned. So another worry is they're probably facing is what to do after those 4 books go out. That's probably why they worry about if they release content too fast, because if they release all 4 books, what are you going to do after? But what I think is there's plenty of stuff to do in the yokai lore to make these short stories and whatever content they could dream of. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below, how you think they can move away from the year-long development slump. I know that yokai is coming out possibly this year, or it's the first priority, so that is playing an account of why it's going to take up to 2025. But even with yokai, I still think that a year-long wait is a long time for a Mimic chapter. Thank you guys all for watching. While you wait, go check out some more variety videos. Peace out.